Huh? So
Hi
Joy,
all.
yeah. So Joy is a provisional teaching and supervising transactional analyst in the field of psychotherapy. He has a master's in clinical psychology, a PG diploma in clinical hypnosis. He's a certified master practitioner of NLP. He's a certified Gestalt practitioner. And he integrates multiple modalities such as psychodrama and family constellation with TA to offer service to clients. He's very passionate about facilitating deep and long-lasting change in the personality of clients, helping them to be powerful and autonomous. And his passion is to find the connection between psychotherapy and spirituality. Yeah, and we have a very interesting model on power that Joy has created for all of us. And with great pride, I invite Joy to start our series on TA Thursdays. Over to you, Joy.
Thank you so much, Aruna. And it's an honor.
Okay, somebody has two devices. You can put yourselves on mute.
Yeah, it's an honor to start the TA Thursday with my model. So let me go directly into it. I'm going to bring up the presentation. All can see? Okay. So our agenda for today is quite brief and simple. We are going to define power in a new way and then look at it from a lens of transactional analysis. Can I have a raise of hands if there is someone here who is not familiar with transactional analysis and is their first TA meeting? Okay, I'm seeing only one. If you can raise a Zoom hand, it will be easier for me to see. Okay, 1, 2. Okay. So what I will do is when TA concepts come, I will explain a little bit, not going into too much detail. If TA interests you, you can start your TA journey with TA 101 program. Yeah. After defining power, we are going to see the different positions of power that we take in our life and see how they can help, how they can limit. And finally, we are going to see the reclaiming of power using what can be called as power moves. This is the overall agenda. And I hope through discussion and participation, we achieve some depth. Topic to cover is quite less, but we can achieve different levels of depth by participating and discussing further. Before getting into the topic, I want to get some administrative things out of the way. First thing is to note that this meeting is recorded. It may be put in public domain like YouTube. So if you have any sharings, etc., please be mindful of what you want to share, knowing that the video may be made available later. Yeah. There will be breakout room or breakout rooms based on the time we have. The breakout room content will not be recorded, so you can have free discussions there. But please ensure your co-participants' confidentiality. So make sure that you do not discuss what others reveal about themselves, but only discuss how you are impacted or what is your takeaway when you come back. So given the depth this topic can achieve, there can be so many questions arising for you. I would require your help to stick with time. So there are certain slots I have kept in the presentation for asking questions. I would invite you to stick to those time frames, and After taking a limited number of questions, I would need to move on to the next content. So please cooperate with me when I do that. It'll help if we are in acceptance that all questions will not be answered today. So it's good to be with some questions and go back with them. Whenever you raise a question, it will help me if you use the raise hand feature of Zoom, because your screen will come on top to me and I can ask you in the order in which you are raising hand. Please ask questions directly and not through chat so that I don't disrupt my flow. I won't be checking the chat. So any questions you have, please ask directly through audio visual. If there is any technical issue that you are facing, you can put a private chat to Nisha, whose name is coming as Operations SAJTA. So you can send a private chat message so that the main flow of the presentation is not disrupted and you can resolve any issue that may come with her. Keep yourself mute unless you are speaking. This is to avoid any noise disruption, etc. And finally, interact and engage as much as we can. So given that there are how many participants? 54 participants. Can I have a thumbs up to see that you heard and registered? Okay. Thank you. Okay, going to the topic. Let's now go into a breakout room, talk a little bit and activate ourselves with some questions for reflection. So these are 3 questions. You can take a screenshot of it or take a photo of it. When you go to the breakout room, you may not have it. What is your understanding of the word power? When do you feel powerful and when do you feel powerless? So these breakout rooms will be in groups of 3 or 2. Please show your face and talk with each other. This is also an opportunity to understand people in the TA community. Yeah, and the result is not a discussion. We are not going to discuss after you come back. This so that you get in touch with your understanding of power, and we'll directly go into definitions after we come back. Yeah, any questions on the breakout room questions? Okay, Nisha, you may initiate the rooms when you are ready.
Joy, if you stop sharing, I'll take a quick attempt at the photo again. The screenshot didn't come.
Oh, okay, sure. So
I also try from here.
Yeah, if everyone could smile again. Yeah, last favor to me. Yes, I got it this time. Yeah, all right. Now you can enjoy your breakout room discussions.
Yeah, so we'll keep 9 minutes as the duration. So around 3 participants, 3 minutes per participant, yeah?
Mami, என்னாச்சு?
Okay, welcome back. I'm seeing a little bit more energy than when we left from here. So let's start with that, yeah? You would have discussed your understanding of power. I'm not going to ask you now what it is. I would invite you to hold that in your mind and then compare it with what is going to be presented. I'm going to start with certain existing definitions of power in TA literature. One of the earliest definition of power was given by Claude Steiner. So these names are names of transactional analysts, yeah, and these are the years of publication of their corresponding literature. So in 1974, Steiner defined power as the capacity to cause people to do things. So I am powerful if I can cause people to do things. He also went to the extent of saying that to cause people to do things they don't want to do. So the background of this definition is he was exploring power from an interpersonal perspective, in a social perspective. Yeah. Later on, he redefined power to a more generic definition as one's capacity to produce change. So produce change in self, produce change in other, produce change in the world. And you can see the year difference. So it was in 1987 that he changed this definition. Adrianne Lee later defined power as a desire for a fantasy to be fulfilled in the context of self-other dyad. This basically means that in any relationship there's a I and there's a you. So we have certain fantasies in a relationship from the other person. Yeah, from the self and from the other person. And if we feel like that fantasies can be fulfilled, then we feel powerful. She also connected it to how this power develops from the time when we are an infant, and in the infant mother relationship itself, power dynamics have started to manifest, and that continues. So I am going with these three definitions, not going with too many definitions, and then deriving a definition from a different sense. We will look at that definition and then go into a discussion or questioning mode. Yeah. So what is power? Now I am attempting to define here where power is seen as a intrapsychic aspect. So a power that is within me. Like, when do I feel powerful? When do I have a sense of power? So it all starts with the subject, which is I or we or an entity, which is whose power is in question. And then, as part of our existence, we all have wants. So I'm representing wants like this. There is I and there is what I want. Now, if I want to get what I want, then I need to exert a choice. Usually it will not come by itself. You need to exert some choices to get what we want. Now, if I feel that I have the ability to exert this choice, if I can, I feel powerful. If I feel that I can't exert this choice, then I feel powerless. So this is converting Steiner's and Lee's definition into a mode of what does it take for me or us or we to feel powerful or have a sense of power. This I or we can be substituted with any psychological entity like an organization, a group of people, a team, a country, an individual, anything. So with this combined, I'm giving a definition of power as power is a sense of the ability for one to make choice to have what they want. So I will feel powerful if I have a sense of my ability to make a choice to get what I want. I've been speaking for a long time. So shall we spend 5 minutes in discussing questions? And please remember the raise hand feature. No questions, that's going to be easy for me. How did this land on you? How did this definition land on you? When you have already discussed what does power mean for you, and now you are getting a view that may be same or contradicting or comparable. How would you compare what you got in touch with and what was presented here? Yes, Anusha.
Joy, I resonate a lot with the word ability. Ability to move towards my want. What is the significance of the word choice here? So I feel powerful if I have the ability and resources to get to what I want. Yeah, why? What is so important about the choice dimension here?
So choice is something that we make to move from I don't have it to I have it.
Mm.
In most cases, it doesn't come by itself, right? We make some kind of a choice. Sometimes we receive from the universe, but then we have to be there to receive. That's also a choice.
Okay.
And life also can be seen as a series of choices that we are making. Yeah.
Yeah. So even if I have the ability and resources, do I choose to use them or not?
Yeah. Very much true. I mean, this aspect will be explored in the very next section. Yeah. Thank you, Anusha. Sheetal?
Yeah, so very much in alignment with what we discuss. We use the word as a freedom, right? But what I liked about your presentation, the connection which hit home for me is ability to exert. So we have a choice, but the power comes when I'm able to exercise that choice. So that is something, that piece I really resonated and loved that definition. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheetal, for that sharing. Sundar?
You just defined it, somebody, I or we, wanting to reach for that, that arrow. You put an arrow, and then there is a goal, like something that you wanted. Yes. So my question here is, my understanding here is, there has to be an element of skill and an element of fulfillment of having applied the skill successfully at something that you want. So once the fulfillment comes, once you have achieved it, then the power comes, according to my thinking. So, I can give an example. For example, yes. That will be simpler. Say yes. you are a batsman and you have a lot of skill. All the shots are in your reporter, and you are going into bat. And as you are controlling the match, meaning your innings, you are in control of the situation. You are executing your skills. Everything going on according to your power. But a bowler can always get you out, stumped, whatever happens. I mean, I'm borrowing the cricket analogy.
Sure.
Terminology.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Okay. But then one can also get out in the first ball or in the first over without being in a position to display your skill. In that case, there will be more pressure getting built on you because you know that you have the skill, but you've not been able to display. You know, it can be applied to anything, even your personal job, whatever that may be. So
Yes.
ultimately, power and you know, I as a person wanting to do something, you know, the end result, the result, you know, all together would make one in a powerful situation. And
can I interrupt and make a distinction based on your example, Sundar? So let's take the batsman example itself, yeah? And we need to look at power as a moment-to-moment phenomena. So the batsman holding the bat and he has raised it, he is looking at the bowler, he's about to bat. At that moment, his power sense will be based on his skill. If he has not practiced enough, yeah, if he doesn't have that confidence, he will not feel powerful. But if he knows that he's a good batsman, he will feel powerful. Yeah. Now let's say that unfortunately for him, he got bowled in the first ball itself. Now the power changes at that moment where he lost it. Now we need to understand that the goal now has also changed. For example, the initial goal is be able to hit that ball. Yeah. The next goal became victory. So since he got bowled out, and say that he gets bowled out frequently, then maybe he will not become as popular, and he will have issues. So his power in getting a brand endorsement will be affected.
Right.
Yeah. So moment to moment, that what you want is also changing, and hence the power factor is also changing. Yeah. We need to see what is the immediate goal that we are feeling powerful about. So power before achieving the goal is different from power after achieving the goal. It's different powers we are talking about. Yeah. Thank you, Sundar.
Thank you.
I'll take questions from Sifty, and then I'll request the others to factor your questions later. Karnakar, Shyamala. Thank you, Sifty. Thank you. Yeah, please,
Thank
Sifty.
you, Joy. I don't have a question, but I had a sharing. And I also noticed what you're bringing in. So for me, I was thinking of the environment, and then there is these internal aspects. So there's an environmental factor, and then there's an internal factor that plays up. And I'm seeing power as separate from all of those factors. Like, oh, I can't change the environment, and I possibly cannot even change some of these internal factors. So for me, power is probably a step away from all of this, and that sense of being, I'm recognizing as power, and you know what you brought in with how that power changes, and now I'm left sitting with that question of what is really power then. You know, if that aspect of power's face changes from time to time, then what is really power? And and is it something that is internal shift within me?
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is a relevant question. Will be more clear in the next section. But let me leave you with an invitation to reflect on, and not necessarily go into a discussion right now. Is that you talked about internal, what is internal to me and what is external to me. So how is your power impacted by your sense of ability to change what is internal to you, or change what is external to you? For example, if you are feeling depressed and you feel that you can change it, yeah, will you feel powerful? And when you feel that you cannot change it, how do you feel about power? Similarly, environment is adverse, say, but say that you have the sense that by doing something you can change that adversity. Yeah, will the power sense of power, then change. I will leave you with that reflection, yeah, not going into a discussion now. Thank you, Sifty. So I'm bringing back the slides. Now, from this definition, I would want to invite creation of two different axes. So if we look closely to the definition, we can see that there are multiple axes of power that can emerge. And I am focusing on two specific axes for now. So let's look at the definition. Power is a sense of ability for one to make choice to have what they want. Yeah. So I'm looking at the sense of ability. So if there is sense of ability or sense of inability, I can either have power or powerlessness. Right? In power, I think and feel that I can make the choice to get what I want. Similarly, in powerlessness, I think and feel that I cannot make the choice to get what I want. Right? Similarly, I'm looking at another part of the definition, which is the making of choice. Yeah, I think this is, Anusha, your question will tie into this. Yeah. So when we make choice, we can make a choice either true and aligned to the reality or by discounting reality. So my choice can be after taking all the real data into picture, or it can be without or discounting or ignoring some information from the reality. So based on that, I can have two dimensions, real or scripty. Let me go to the definition of it and explain it a little bit. So real is when my choice to get what I want and my perception of ability of making that choice is in alignment with reality. For example, the batsman in Sundar's example knows that he can perform well because he has done the work for it and he is feeling energetic at the moment. He is well rested. So all these reality aspects are taken into consideration. The other one, I call it as scripty. I'll explain in a moment why I call it as scripty. But let's look at the definition first. When the choice to get what I want or my perception of ability are not in alignment with reality, and hence is governed by limiting aspect of my script. I'll explain about script a little bit later, but let's look at the same batsman example. Say that he was partying till late night, had a lot of alcohol at the moment. Still, the person feels that I can perform at my best. Yeah. So there is some discounting of reality that is happening with them, and their assessment of their ability is not aligned to what is real, how much their body will allow. So with this real, I'll tell why I wrote it as scripty and not unreal. Yeah, script is a term in TA, so I'm explaining this for people who are new to TA. Script is a you can say that all of us in childhood, based on our early experience in our family with our parents, we make a decision that this is who I am, this is how life is going to be, and this is how I will live life. And Byrne, who created TA, says that it is done before the age of 7. Don't ask me how, we don't have the time to explain that in detail, but it happens. And a child makes a decision which is not like adult making the decision. It's at a feeling level and it goes to the unconscious level and it becomes what we call as a script. So even as adults, when we make decisions moment to moment in our life. So I told earlier that life is a sequence of decisions made one after the other, right? Choice, one choice to other. So make a choice, you get a result, that will be the cause to make the next choice. So it will go in sequence like that. So that choice making process is affected by this pre-programming that we carry in the head. For example, if I believe that I am a bad student, then when I go to decide to write an exam, I will be unconsciously deciding to panic while preparing and while writing the exam, and hence my result also will be affected, and hence I will confirm to myself that, oh, I am actually a bad student. Yeah. So this is how due to script, we are not making the choices in the here and now. For example, is there any issue with me preparing for the exam? Yeah. Do I know the curriculum? Do I have the time to read and understand? Do I have people who can help me? Yeah. And then with that understanding, can I write the exam and pass it with reasonable marks? Yeah, these are all assessment of reality, but when that is distorted, it is usually the influence of script. So this is not to say that script is always limiting, but script is limiting when it is not letting us see the reality or assess reality in full. And that is usually what is called in TA as scripty. We say that this person is in their scripty behavior, or I am having this scripty feelings or feelings from the script. So for now, I am using this two words, real scripty, power and powerlessness. Yeah. So before taking questions, I want to go into the display of the axis. Yeah, and from there we can see if we are understanding or not, because I'm planning to give some examples. I'm defining what we can call going forward as power positions based on these two axes. So I'm going to put power and powerlessness as one, and real and scripty as the other. So with this, I create 4 quadrants. Each quadrant creates a power position. So if you are familiar with life position in TA, then you can relate to why I named it as power position. So these are the different combination of, configuration of power that we take on. First power position would be real power. So I feel powerful and it is real. So my assessment that I can make a choice is real in this scenario. A second scenario is scripty power, where I feel powerful, but my assessment of whether I can make that choice for the power is with some discounting, and hence coming from the limiting aspect of my script. The third is scripty powerlessness. I feel powerless, but the reason I feel powerless is because my script is acting and I'm thinking that I'm limited and hence I cannot exercise a choice. Yeah, but actually I can. I think I cannot. And then real powerlessness, where I am feeling powerless, but this is also a correct assessment with my current skills, ability, opportunity. It is not possible for me to get what I want. Yeah, I'm going to give three case studies for us to look at as examples. I'm just going to put the names of the case study in the chat so that you can refer. So these case studies are in the article. I would recommend you to read the article after, as soon as possible after you attend, if you have not read already. Avni in her role as wife, Bridge in his role as a manager, and Madhu in his role as a student. I'll explain the story in brief, only the relevant points. So Avni's example is where so this is about relationship between Avni and her husband. So Avni's husband gives a lot of tasks to her to complete, which he could complete, which is his responsibility, but she chooses to take that on. Yeah. Simple tasks like, tax calculation, etc. Now, because she takes on this work, she is not able to fulfill the work that she has to do, which comes under her role as a wife, as a mother, as a professional. Her bandwidth is constrained. Yeah. At the same time, she also was hesitant to say that I will not take this up, because she really was depending on the strokes that she will get because she is taking on work given by husband. Yeah. So this is the first case study. I'll explain the case study and then go to the quadrant and where you find. Bridge is a manager who you can call as an autocratic manager. So he was very efficient in getting work done, but his team members were not happy because he would be very stingy in granting leaves. Yeah. Ask them to stay late in office, be very strict on deadlines, will not understand if deadline is delayed. Due to all this, he was able to get work done, and his managers really liked him and depended on him, and hence he was enjoying a good position in the organization also. Yeah. Now third is Madhu's example. Madhu is a student. Madhu was a student who completed graduation and wanted to go for a particular post graduation. He realized that the college, the university that he wanted to apply for couldn't accept him because the bachelor's degree he took was not enough criteria to admit him. And then that itself became his presenting issue in therapy, and he felt depressed because of that. And he was saying that, I always mess up my life, I make the wrong decisions. And he was in the state. So 3 examples explain, right? Now will you let me know, starting from Avni, which all quadrants do you see? You can unmute and speak loud without raising hand.
Scripty.
Scripty, power or
Yeah.
powerlessness.
So it was power and then it moved to powerlessness.
Great. Can you explain which part was power, which part was powerlessness?
So that sense of, let me take this on so I can receive those strokes. That first step was feeling that sort of scripty power. And then the sort of payoff happened with the overwhelm my God, I can't do this. I've got so much on my plate. And then that then leads to a scripty powerlessness. So in reality, there is a deeper aspect of feeling powerless. Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, this is what the article also mentions. Thank you, Sifty. What about Bridge? Bridge the manager.
It's scripty power.
Power.
Okay, can we ask someone else to have more people talk? Someone who has not talked want to take a chance?
So it looks like scriptive power because he's not like he understands his power and he's able to manage and get things done, but not able to see this impact on the other people, his teammate, and just his goal and nothing else matters. So he's enjoying and exercising his choices and power and receiving strokes from that, but blind to the other people's need. That's why I'm putting in scriptive power.
Beautiful explanation. So he is discounting the environment and the fact that his team members are unhappy with his style. Yeah. So it is like a ticking time bomb. What about Madhu, who's a student?
To me, it sounded like Madhu, there was an aspect of real powerlessness where the degree doesn't qualify. But at the same time, when you said the perceptions, it also sounded scripty, where it's coming, I'm always failing, I'm making all of that.
Excellent. So yes, there is an aspect of the powerlessness. It is different from Avni's case of powerlessness. Here the powerlessness is true. Yeah, he's not. He will not have the ability to get into that university, but his understanding of his choice making is affected by script because he's distorting it as it is because of my lack of capability and I should have taken care of this earlier, etc. Yeah, excellent understanding. So let's look into the aspects of this quadrant and then I'll open for questions and or I'll open for a break and let's come back and have questions. Yeah, I'll tell you why. So in real power, one feature is that when we are operating from real power position, it leads to success and wish fulfillment because since the choice making is done in alignment with reality, the probability of success will increase. Yeah, so the probability of you getting what you want is increased in this quadrant. What happens when we are in scriptive power? It leads to a temporary high but long-term disappointment. So for now you may get what you want, but it will not be a sustainable solution for you. It can be clearly seen in Bridges case where we already discussed that it is a ticking time bomb, is a problem waiting to happen. Similarly in Avni's case, when though she's enjoying the strokes from doing the assigned task, it is at the cost of dissatisfaction and frustration about not being able to do what she wants. Yeah. When we are in scriptive powerlessness, it leads to inaction or sabotage, which means we say that, oh, I'm not powerful. So either we will not act to get what we want, or we may have the choice, but we will not see it. We'll say that I have no other option. Yeah. My only option is to fail, or only option is to not get it. We get stuck in that one option situation. And finally, real powerlessness leads to acceptance and peace. Here, this would mean that we know we are powerless in certain situation, and we are accepting that there's nothing I can do about this situation. Rather than fighting, hitting against a concrete wall, we stop hitting. and walk through a door to another room. Yeah. So with whatever we are fighting with, this will lead to acceptance and peace, and then we can move on in life. Now I'm bringing a little bit of TA here. I'll briefly explain the TA concept, but not in detail. So if you look at a drama triangle perspective, the scripty power person usually operates from a persecutor or rescuer frame. So drama triangle is a concept in TA that is used to describe when a person is playing a game, or when we are not in the here and now, or we are taking a gamey position, which is the basis for dysfunctional relationship. A person can either persecute others or rescue others. And similarly, scripty powerlessness, the person comes from a victim position. So this is a quick way to identify that if you are in a drama triangle, these two positions, you can spot yourself in a scripty power, and you can spot yourself in a scripty powerlessness if you are coming from a victim position. You can also look at it from a life position perspective. The real side of the power quadrant will come from a I plus U plus. Yeah. So only in a I am okay, you are okay state can we feel real, or can the assessment be real? Yeah. If either I am not okay or you are not okay, there is bound to be some kind of a distortion and discounting while we make decisions. So the scripty power comes from an I plus U minus position, which is I am okay, you are not okay, and hence I am more powerful. That life position itself indicates the power position implicitly inside it. Similarly, scripty powerlessness is an I minus. So it can be I minus U plus or I minus U minus. Doesn't matter where U is. It mainly matters what I perceive I as. I am not okay. Yeah, I'll pause here for some questions. Before that, I just want to share the article link here. You can just click on it and go to the page, because I'm going to close the slide. So if you want to look at the quadrant and ask questions, you can go to the article. Yeah. Yes, Mitra.
I don't have a question.
Yes.
I want to say, wow, wonderful. I just was really, I felt great. It's wonderful way, simplified many things together. Oh, that you remember first year, 8 years child will understand. I surrender. 8-year child understood.
Thank you, Mitra. That is very empowering feedback. So I'll pause for a couple of minutes. Any questions, comments? Yes, Abhijit.
Hey, hi, Joy. Thanks for sharing this lovely model. One question I had was that, like in drama, you know, the roles get switched. Do you also see that in this model, you expect the roles also to switch from helplessness, scripty helplessness, to at times showing scripty powerfulness?
Yes, absolutely. So while drama triangle switch happens, the power positions also keep switching. It's a very keen observation. Thanks, Abhijit.
Thanks.
Yes, Ritika.
Joy, when you said in the definition also that sense of ability to, when you said that, I was also connecting it with some energy, like in the sense of what is that sense, the power itself is also like that movement of energy. And when you presented this quadrant, I just wanted to ask you if you have any thoughts on how this energy is also moving in this quadrant.
So I would say that, so the way I see it, body sensation comes first. Based on the body sensation, we have feelings. Yeah. And then because of feelings, we create thought. And it can happen in reverse or any other order also. Now, energy availability is there for body to get activated in a particular way. So feeling of power is movement of energy within. Yeah. If there is no energy, for example, in a client who is undergoing clinical depression, there is very less psychic energy, and that clearly explains why they feel powerless. There's no energy to move around, activate, feel in a certain way for one to feel powerful. Yeah. So power, the energy is there in scripty power, real power, and paradoxically in also real powerlessness. Yeah. I will explain why that is. Yeah. Okay. I'll take Priyanka's question and I'm going to move forward because we are short of time. 5 more slides to cover. Yes, Priyanka.
Actually, when the last quadrant of real powerlessness, when you said I plus U plus, how it is U plus? When it is U plus, you can't feel powerless, because if say we are fighting against something and the system or something, like you said, to put the example that you're not able to apply. So how does it become I plus U plus?
Very relevant question. The detailed answer will come in one of the next slides. Yeah. But for now, I want to say that this real powerlessness can be experienced only after grieving. Yeah. We realize that we cannot get something and we cannot immediately accept that. Yeah. But say that that is true and we actually cannot have that, then there is some grief that is in order. And once we grieve, we come into acceptance that, oh, I cannot get that, and that is the only way. I want to move on with other aspects of my life, and that is when the real powerlessness is completely mature, and then you experience that in I plus U plus. Yeah, it'll be much more clearer when I explain the next section, which is called power moves. Let me go into power moves. So our objective is for today empowerment, right? We don't want to move from real part to scripty part for today. Yeah, we are going to explore how to move from the scripty part to the real part, powerless part to the powerful part, hence to empower and increase the options in our life, yeah, and get the results that we want. So for that, this article identifies 5 power moves. I have given names also to it. So the first power move is so I put you understand the acronym, right? Scripty, P plus is powerful, P minus is powerless. Yeah, from scripty powerlessness to real powerfulness, real power. Scripty powerlessness to real power. This is usually the most required switch or a move that we all want in life. We feel powerless, and for us to explore how our script is distorting the way we perceive it, way we perceive the choice making, and can I get what I want by acknowledging reality and opening up my options. For example, let's go back to Avni's case study. For Avni, establishing the boundary with her partner that I will not be able to take up beyond a particular limit. Yeah, I can help you based on what is my bandwidth, but beyond that I cannot take. So that is establishment of the boundary. By doing that, she gets the power to do what she needs to do in her life. So she is moving from a scripty powerlessness, which is that I cannot tell no to the other person, my worth is dependent on if other person is okay with me. Yeah, that is the element of script here. I'll explain all the power moves, then we can go into discussion, question, etc. The second power move is called disillusionment, which is moving from a scripty power to real powerlessness. Going again back to Avani's example of her being dependent on the strokes from the partner, for her to realize that that is coming from her script and that these are not sustainable way of getting strokes. And hence, when she learned to get unconditional strokes from other circles or from her partner or from her family, so that this also indicates a work where she will feel deserving of strokes without being in service of others, right? So there's a script cure that happens there. Then she accepts that powerlessness. I cannot keep on doing this. Yeah, I do not have the power to do this. I do not have the bandwidth to fulfill everybody's work. So that is acceptance of real powerlessness. And Priyanka, if you see here, there is some kind of a loss here. The strokes that she used to, she needs to decide to lose it, maybe forever, in exchange of higher quality strokes. And that can be a daunting task. But once that is crossed, you are in a I plus U plus. Yeah. Third move is called alignment. It is moving from a scripty power to real power. Taking Bridges example, the manager. So in Bridges example, there we need to note that it was there is only a small part of his work that he needed to change. He needed to be more empathic towards his team. All the other parts, the way he exerts power was in alignment with reality. So only a part of it is not in alignment with reality. So when he aligns that, when he takes into account, or when he took into account that his team members also need to be taken into confidence, then the team was fully involved as a group in achieving the goals organization set for the team. And hence aligning himself to reality is this power move, and hence is called alignment. It cannot be done in all cases of scripty power. It will apply only if the influence of script is less and there is less distortion about the power. The fourth power move is called acceptance. Taking Madhu's example. So through his therapy, he understood that he has taken a lot of correct decisions in his life, due to which he had the higher education and he's eligible for a lot of other universities that provide similar education. And he also realized that it is unfair on himself to expect to know future and how things will turn out. So based on information he had at that moment, he made the best decision he could. So when he came into acceptance of that, of course there was some grief. This was a dream for him to go into a particular university. So after grieving, he was in acceptance of his powerlessness to get into that particular place. And hence comes the next power move as a logical progression, is moving on. So once you have spent satisfactory time in real powerlessness, you can move into real power. By moving on, how do you do that? By switching the context. I gave the example of punching a concrete wall, it will not break, but if there's a door on the side, walk to the door and go to the other side. Yeah. So that is moving on. So these are the power moves that facilitate life. Summarizing them together: move 1, empowerment; move 2, disillusionment; move 3, alignment; move 4, acceptance; and move 5, moving on. So we will take few questions, up to 5 minutes we can take questions, we have time. And after that I will say something about the upcoming SAJTA conference. If we have more time, we will engage in more discussion, questions, if you have. Yeah. Okay. Yes, Sheetal, we'll start with you.
Little more either example or explanation on the second move to the fourth move, because it seems similar, though I understand the term which you coin has some differentiation, but both needs acceptance of your powerlessness. So I'm little like, I just need little more clarity on that. You can share.
So in move 2, you think you are powerful, but you're not actually powerful. So you need to switch your perception of power. Yeah. In move 4, you know you are powerless, but your understanding of why you are powerless is not accurate. So you need to take into account of reality and understand the real reasons. This is the difference. Thanks, Sheetal. Anusha?
Joy, question on move 5 about moving on. What does that mean? Does that mean my wants are now realigned with reality, or does that mean I expand my view of abilities and resources and everything? Like you said, take that door and then walk to the other side. So what does moving on mean?
Beautiful question, and you have answered the question also. It is all that you said. It is changing the context. So when you change the context, that can mean that you change where you are, right? So instead of, say that your needs are not being met in one company, you switch the company. That's one option. Or say that it is not getting met in the company, you understand what additional reskilling, upskilling you need to achieve that particular goal in this company, and if that is realistic, you acquire that. Yeah. So by both ways, you are switching the context and changing the whole equation.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you.
Yes, Sundar.
Yeah. See, this move 2, I just want to, I have an example in mind whether I think that will fit that move 2. For example, if there is an actor who thinks that he is a great actor, but the world doesn't see him as a great actor. So it is his scripted belief that he is a great actor, So once he realizes that he may not get a hero's role. He can just get any role. Whatever role he gets, he should accept it. And if that acceptance comes, so it is, can we say that it's in move 2? He moves from the second quadrant to the fourth one, accepting the reality that he cannot get a hero's role. Any role is all right. So he moves down and accepts it. Does that example fit into this? That's my.
It does fit as long as the person is emotionally in acceptance with this decision. For example, if they are doing, if you're doing it with a lot of frustration, then it is still scripty powerlessness. But if the person is in acceptance that, okay, this is what context allows me. But I would also ask if that's staying in the real powerlessness a comfortable decision, or can they get into a discomfort and be innovative and find a way to be the hero? I know that I don't think it is real power, but Kamal R. Khan produced his own movie and became a hero in it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Sundar. Shobana, we'll close with your question and then I'll
Sure.
go to closing slide and then we'll go.
Got it. So my question is also about disillusionment. I'm understanding that with the client in mind. So a person having this fantasy that if I really sacrifice enough, then one day I will get the love and adoration, adulation that is due to me. That they're holding on that fantasy since childhood is in a way scripty powerfulness that as long as I'm here, and then when that fantasy breaks, that's when the disillusionment sets in. That this is not going to work, and grieving the fantasy, the loss of that fantasy. Perhaps then, when enough grieving happens, then the moving on can happen. Is the sense that I'm getting in touch with.
Correct. And it's also possible that in this example, there's a temporary move to the scriptly powerlessness before moving into real powerlessness. Yeah. And this is where the extra holding and protection of the therapist or in the therapy is required for, because it can be, disillusionment can be really painful.
Painful, yeah, beautiful, yeah. Makes sense. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, I am seeing one more hand raise. I will go with Monsia and then I stop. Okay.
Okay.
Hard
so
stop.
I don't have. Okay. So I don't have question. I was just thinking about one of my clients who was actually living into this fantasy that if she pleases her boyfriend, then she will get her attention, recognition. So I'm thinking that maybe after from that part, she turned into real helplessness when she realized that this is no longer serving her purpose. And then she's moving into real power, full position where she's seeking from where she can get all the recognitions or other sources from where she can fulfill her needs. So is it moving like that? I'm not sure. Just
You're absolutely right. Yeah. But like similar to Shobana's example, here also there is a move from SP plus to SP minus first.
Okay.
If I were to name it, I will call it as painful disillusionment. Yeah. And then there is a move to acceptance and then moving on.
Success. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Matsya. I'm going to move on. Yeah, exercise my power to move 5. And let me this is out of the presentation, but is something important that so there are SAJTA members, non-SAJTA members present here. 7th biennial SAJTA conference is going to happen this year. Yeah, so this is to inform all of you that these are the dates. Please follow the SAJTA website and SAJTA in social media. SAJTA has Instagram. Please follow that to get updates on it. You will also be mailed the invite to the conference. So if you take SAJTA membership, there will be a significant discount for the conference. Please use all that. The theme of the conference is Hegidira. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing it right. It means, how are you? Yeah. It is like an empathic inquiry. So for therapists here, you know that it's an empathic inquiry on how are you doing? So this is an invite to talk about mental health. So different themes and workshops will run in the conference about mental health, and it will be with TA and non-TA participants. So there will be a rich mix of learning that is going to happen. Please consider attending and taking SAJTA membership. Yeah. So that's done. Only thing to show is the thank you slide. So you can, if you have questions or want to discuss or get in touch, you can use these two. Please only WhatsApp me. I don't take phone calls. So WhatsApp in this number or email me. And there ends the presentation. We have last 5 minutes. If you have any questions, comments, you can say, or you can give me feedback on how this was for you, what you are taking back.
Can I go first?
Yes, Mitra.
Really, it was wonderful, you know. It is so moving and simplifying. We can sit with the client and dance to like find where discounting happening, drama triangle, life position, how is acting, you know, really. It's wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And I want to give credit that Joy is my first trainer, first supervisor forever. Thank you. I'm proud of you.
Thank you so much, Mitra. I'm honored. Let me tell others also, you can put in the chat also if you don't want to speak. Anyone else? Anything that you want to voice?
I want to say something too. Really loved the framework, Joy. So starting from the definition and then the positions and also all the power moves, very, very touching. So feels very relevant. So I love the simplicity and how well you brought it in front of us. So thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you so much, Anisha.
I'll go next.
I'm
in awe of how under just this one word, you've covered many concepts. And for me, my takeaways, it's to an extent that I'm not able to make sense of it cognitively. It's sitting deeply. I think it will show up sooner or later. And I'm also feeling very proud, Joy.
Thank you so much, Arti. It means a lot to me. Yes, sir.
Hi. Thank you so much for the presentation. It was amazing. Many things were going on, so I was trying to understand. I just finished my first foundations here, but I attended one session of yours before, so I enjoyed it. I want to ask, how do you practice how do you practice cultivating power in daily life as a practice? How do you do it?
So for me, it is to explore. So if I'm to use this lens that we saw today, for me it is to explore which quadrant in the power position I am in, and which I want to move to, and you know what is involved in getting that. Yeah, for example, this kind of meeting used to be really daunting for me. Yeah, there are 50 plus people showed up, but it is 158 who have registered. Yeah, seeing that number itself, I can faint. That used to be who I was. Right now, looking at how was my power affected. My power is about feeling the ability to present it in a potent way, in a way that all of you can understand, in a simple way, etc. within the time. Yeah, that was affected by my script, that only if everyone likes it, only if I get appreciations, then I'll be okay. And that is the thing that caused anxiety for me. Yeah, And then I take that to therapy, I work on that, and I change that with acceptance that, yeah, that's not in my control. Yeah. People liking my presentation is not in my control. I can only earnestly deliver what I know, and then I have to surrender the results. Yeah. So hence feeling the real power. And from the feedback till now, I'm crossing hands. I didn't get any negative feedback. So that also works in a magical way. Yeah.
So you're saying as a practice, it's therapy every week as a form of self-reflection and
can be therapy.
Understanding which aspect of life do we want to channel our work towards.
I would not say therapy all week. I would say a desire to grow. Therapy is one means. Other can be spirituality. Other can be self-reflection and introspection. There can be multiple ways. Basically, adopting all possible ways that are available to us.
Yes. Perfect. Thank you.
So we are dot on time. Are we okay in closing?
Yeah, Joy, just would like to share my stroke to you. It was very wonderful presentation. Simply just wow, the just line, the ability to change and ability to choice, that just moved by that sentence. Thank you, Joy.
Thank you so much, Sarah.
Joy, can I share
Yes, Sheetal.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping once again, I'm hoping we can close with Sheetal, or is someone? Okay. Yes, yes, Sheetal, you're close with.
Yeah. So I just wanted to share a stroke, because for me, the beginning itself showed your power, where you have very clearly, I really loved the way you have tied and said what you are expecting from us and shared your needs. So that was exercising your first power. And for me, the learning today is the simplicity, the simple way of, so that is the second power from, like, if I have to concisely tell your presentation. So I really loved it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sheetal. That was very meaningful for me to hear. I know Mitra has hand raised, but I'm going to exert my power to stop.
Please, no. I am violating your power. There is something which I want to acknowledge. I forgot to say, I had it in my mind. And if I won't say it, we will stop here. It is very powerful because it is a diagnosis tool. It is a treatment plan. Yeah, you have given something which we have two in one. Thank you.
Thank you, Mitra. It was very great having you all. See you all in another TA Thursday. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.